This is a 41 gram marble moving at 2.10 meters per second strikes a 20 gram marble at rest. What is the speed of each marble immediately after the collision? So I was talking when the speed of each marble immediately after the collision. It's probably 0.41 kilograms. Do you change it or since it both in grams?
You'd want to change it because momentum is done in kilogram meters per second. So yeah, you could change this. Oh, this isn't kilograms, this is grams. So that would be 0.020 kilograms. 0.041 kilograms. All right. So what kind of collision will happen when these two marbles hit each other?
Type of collision.
Yeah. Like what's going to happen?
They're going to bounce off
Right. So that's
each other.
there's two kinds of collisions we deal with. One is perfectly inelastic. The other one's perfectly elastic. To solve anything in between, we'd need something more than just this physics class. But, so if it's perfectly inelastic, what does that mean?
It means like they stick together.
Right, so they don't bounce at all. They just stick to each other. And perfectly elastic,
They bounce. It's like elastic.
so these ones bounced. So we'll call that a perfectly elastic collision. And so with a perfectly inelastic, they stick together and momentum is conserved, right?
Right.
With a perfectly inelastic collision, there's actually some equations that we use for it. The velocity of the first, so this would be ball one. And then the one that isn't moving is called ball two. And the equations are V1 final equals M1 plus M2 all over M1 minus M2. That might be wrong. Might be the other way. I don't remember. But they're just two equations that the book gives you. So let's see. I can't remember what they are. Do you have your book on you?
Not my textbook. Yeah. You just read it.
Yeah.
From my
I
characters.
try to avoid carrying around too. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. So here it is. we've got V1 final is going to be equal to M1 minus M2 all over M1 plus M2 times V1 initial. And then V2 final is 2M1 all over M1 plus M2 V1 initial. So these are good for only if the first ball is moving and the second ball isn't. But that's as complex as problems as we get in this class. Okay. So it's as easy as once you get here, all you have to do to find their velocities is plug it into the equations.
For the first one, okay, just write it down so later.
Yeah. So these ones, you don't use them super often, but they're the only way to solve these kinds of problems. The way where these equations came from is that a perfectly elastic collision conserves both energy and momentum. And so they have to use both of those equations to derive it. So when you need these equations, you really do need them because you can't. It'd take a long time to figure it out on your own. Kind of just get stuck. So if we want to find the final velocity of V1, we just take M1 minus M2.
Yeah.
So 0.041 times.
2.10.
Okay. This is going to be I think you just solve those out.